And no training method is ever going to compensate for healthy leadership. No training method, no reward system exists within this world that is ever going to compensate for true guidance and direction. Understand that. What's good, everyone? Just out here getting after it for another weekend, and I hope all you guys out there are doing just the same, creating better individuals to be able to share back with your dogs and back with your family units. Now, I wanted to share with you the awareness of not letting this industry sell you a lie. What do you think I'm getting at when I make such a statement? Have a think about it. What I'm actually getting at is that a vast majority of the issues that so many have with their dogs are all stemming from your end of the leash, are all stemming from the human's end of the leash. I am not going to be the individual that is going to sell you that lie and that is going to play into that condition of behavior that society has when it comes to playing the blame game, that lack of accountability, trying to spare your feelings because I don't want to make you feel bad. It is what it is. If you feel bad, recognize it for what it is and change it. Do something about it. But it is not right to blame the dog for all the issues that you guys have with your animal. You need to think about it. What is the ultimate goal that we want from our dogs? We want stability, we want balance, we want to be able to coexist with each other in a healthy way. You do not need flashy obedience. You do not need flashy training to be able to achieve this. And I say this because, to put this back on the human's end, just because you're highly educated, or just because you know a bunch of circus tricks or complex movements, does that mean you're mentally stable? Does that mean you're balanced within your own state of mind? When you were at school, your teachers were obviously more educated than you. Did you have that same common courtesy and respect for all of your teachers? Of course not. That common courtesy and respect came from the individuals that knew how to conduct themselves in the right manner. The same thing goes with your dogs. That common courtesy and respect that is going to be shown to you, that trust, respect, and loyalty that you look for within your relationship with your dogs, this comes from the way that you conduct yourself. You need to understand how self-awareness and self-development is crucial to the foundation upon the relationship that you have with your dogs. To have that solid foundation, we cannot escape this. We cannot pretend like this does not exist. It must be applied in the correct manner. Dogs are social and pack animals within an instinctual way of being. This means that it is ingrained within their genetic makeup. So that means when we decide to bring the dog into our life, what do you think we become to them? We become pack members. And what do you think the dog is going to be looking at you for? The dog's going to be looking up for guidance and direction. So how do we apply this? Through conducting ourselves in the correct manner, so that we can give that true guidance and direction back to our dogs in a healthy manner, so that we can become a source of healthy leadership, so that the dog does not feel the sense to try and take this position, because if they do, they're going to find themselves in a lot of trouble. And this is where a lot of the behavioral issues really stem from when it comes to our dogs. And I say this because what I'm about to say is going to hurt some people. There's also a lot of dogs out there that are very well trained, highly trained, but lack that clarity, that lack that stability, that cannot be trusted when left to their own devices, that given the chance will act up in one way or another. There's a lot of dogs out there with a lot of sports titles on them. And look, I'm not saying that I can get out there and do what they do on the sports field, but a lot of these dogs are living through a neurotic existence. And with us people within the industry, we need to be able to keep it a buck with you, and we need to be able to keep it real with each other, and we need to be able to call it for what it is. And for you guys out there that can have both within the trial field, within the training arenas, and within your day-to-day lives, I commend you for that. But we cannot pretend that this does not exist, and we cannot sell a lie to the general public of saying that everything is a training issue. We need to be able to take that accountability as trainers and as handlers with our dogs. And we need to be able to keep each other accountable so that we can share the benefits with our dogs with others in a healthy manner. So considering that not everything is a training issue, ask yourself, how do you bring that true stability and balance back to the dog? We do this by giving that dog once again a healthy leader and a competent leader to be able to follow. Someone that knows how to conduct themselves in a healthy manner, that knows how to conduct themselves and keep accountability behind their own keep, that knows how to conduct themselves away from the negotiation of our excuses and our instabilities. There's a lot of great trainers out there, probably riddled with anxiety, riddled with this, riddled with that, and that's why their dogs are neurotic messes. But for me personally, I think the stability and balance has to come first and foremost. This is what allows us to coexist with our dogs in a healthy manner. And to keep that stability and balance, what also do we have to apply with the interactions with our dogs? We also need to be able to apply healthy fulfillment to be able to give our dogs a quality of life within our care. That means fulfill them in the way that nature intended. Give them adequate mental and physical stimulus, exercise, adventure, new environmental settings. Just because you live on property does not mean that your dog only stays on property. I live on 5 acres. My dogs get off property every couple days minimum. It is my moral obligation as the caregiver and guardian to my dog to be able to give them this. Because otherwise what happens? The dogs get bored of the environment, or the dogs are only used to the one environment. They come off property, they start bugging out. They start wigging, they start becoming very environmentally sensitive. Ask yourself this, even if you live in a beautiful mansion and you could have everything you could ever want or need provided for you, but you never came off property and you never had the chance to fulfill your own needs in the way that you need to as an individual. You tell me how long it's going to be before you start exhibiting different behavioral issues. Now, that being the case, is it fair for me or anyone else to start blaming you for your behavioral issues if you are stuck within such an existence? Of course not. These are the things that we need to understand for what it is so that we can apply this to the dog properly. Through healthy leadership, guidance and direction, through providing a true quality of life that fulfills the dog in a way nature intended, this is how we create stability and balance. It is not always a training method. We need to understand this for what it is, and we need to be able to keep it real with each other. Because not every issue is going to be able to be fixed with just generalized training. And no training method is ever going to compensate for healthy leadership. No training method, no reward system exists within this world that is ever going to compensate for true guidance and direction. Understand that. I hope that helps. Peace.